So the banned book that I chose to read today is One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest by Ken Kesey. It was published in the 60s, and I grew up in the 60s. And this book was probably banned for a number of reasons. It does have quite a bit of racism and misogynistic characters in it. But I grew up in a community and in a time that had racism and had misogyny. So it's very realistic to me for the time in which the book occurs. And it was the first book I read that I really sort of understood what an existential anti-hero was. And it also has a very important Native American character. I'm not sure at the time I first read it I fully appreciated how much the character of Bromden meant to me. But I've chosen to read today a passage toward the climax of the book. It's at a time when McMurphy, the main character, and Bromden, the Native American character, who are in a mental asylum, are going to undergo electroshock treatments. And it's told from the point of view of Bromden. The big nurse talks to McMurphy, soft and patient, about the irresponsible thing he did, the childish thing, throwing a tantrum like a little boy. Aren't you ashamed? He says he guesses not and tells her to get on with it. She talks to him about how they, the patients downstairs on our ward, at a special group meeting yesterday afternoon, agreed with the staff that it might be beneficial that he receive some shock therapy, unless he realizes his mistakes. All he has to do is admit he was wrong, to indicate, demonstrate rational contact, and the treatment would be canceled this time. The circle of faces waits and watches. The nurse says it's up to him. Yeah, he says, you got a paper I can sign? Well, no, but if you feel it necessary, why don't you add some other things while you're at it and get them out of the way? Things like, me being part of a plot to overthrow the government, and like how I think life on your ward is the sweetest goddamn life this side of Hawaii. You know, that kind of thing. I don't believe that would. Then, after I sign, you bring me a blanket and a package of Red Cross cigarettes. Hooey, those Chinese commies could have learned a few things from you, lady. Randall, we are trying to help you. But he's on his feet, scratching at his belly, walking on past her, and the black boys rearing back toward the card tables. Okay, well, where's this poker table, buddies? The nurse stares after him a moment, then walks into the nurse's station to use the phone. Two colored aides and a white aide with curly blonde hair walk us over to the main building. McMurphy talks with the white aide on the way over, just like he isn't worried about a thing. There's frost thick on the grass, and the two colored aides in front trail puffs of breath like locomotives. The sun wedges apart some of the clouds and lights up the frost till the grounds are scattered with sparks. Sparrows fluffed out against the cold, scratching among the sparks for seeds. We cut across the crackling grass past the digger squirrel holes where I saw the dog. Cold sparks, frost down the holes, clear out of sight. I feel that frost in my belly. We get up to that door and there's a sound behind like bees stirred up. Two men in front of us, reeling under the red capsules, one bawling like a baby saying, "It's my cross, thank you Lord, it's all I got, thank you Lord." The other guy waiting is saying, "Gutsball, Gutsball." He's the lifeguard from the pool, and he's crying a little too. I won't yell or cry. Not with McMurphy here. The technician asked us to take off our shoes, and McMurphy asked him if we get our pants slit and our head shaved too. The technician says no such luck. The metal door looks out with its rivet eyes. The door opens, sucks the first man inside. The lifeguard won't budge. A beam like neon smoke comes out of the black panel in the room, fastens on his cleat-marked forehead, and drags him in like a dog on a leash. The beam spins him around 3 times before the door closes, and his face is scrambled fear. "Hut 1, he grunts. "Hut 2, hut 3. I hear them in there pry up his forehead like a manhole cover. Clash and snarl of jammed cogs. Smoke blows the door open, and a gurney comes out with the first man on it, and he rakes me with his eyes. That face. The gurney goes back in and brings the lifeguard out. I can hear the yell leader spelling out his name. The technician says, "Next group." The floor is cold, frosted, crackling. Up above, the light winds tubes, long and white and icy. Can smell the graphite salve like the smell in a garage. Can smell acid of fear. There's one window up high, small, and outside I see those puffy sparrows strung out on a wire like brown beads, their heads sunk in the feathers against the cold. Something goes to blowing wind over my hollow bones, higher and higher. "Air raid! Air raid!" "Don't holler, Chief. Air raid!" "Take her easy. I'll go first. My skull's too thick for them to hurt me, and if they can't hurt me, they can't hurt you." Climbs on the table without any help and spreads his arm out to fit the shadow. A switch snaps the clasp on his wrists, ankles, clamping him into the shadow. A hand takes off his wristwatch, won it from Scanlon. Drops it near the panel. It springs open, cogs and wheels, and the long dribbling spiral of spring jumping out against the side of the panel and sticking fast. He don't look a bit scared. He keeps grinning at me. They put the graphite salve on his temples. "What is it?" he asks. "Conductant," the technician says. "Anoint my head with conductant. Do I get a crown of thorns?" They smear it on. He's singing to them, makes their hands shake. "Get wild root cream oil, Charlie." Put on those things like headphones, crown of silver thorns over the graphite at his temples. They try to hush his singing with a piece of rubber hose for him to bite on. "Made with clothing lanolin." Twist some dials and the machine trembles. 2 robot arms pick up soldering arms and hunch down on him. He gives me the wink and speaks to me, muffled. Tells me something, says something to me around that rubber hose just as those irons get close enough to the silver on his temples. Light arcs across, stiffens him, bridges him up off the table till nothing is down but his wrists and ankles, and out around that crimped black rubber hose a sound like hoo-wee, and he's frosted over completely with sparks. And out the window the sparrows drop smoking off the wire. They roll him out on a gurney, still jerking, face frosted white. Corrosion, battery acid. The technician turns to me. "What's that other moose? I know him. Hold him." It's not a willpower thing anymore. "Hold him, damn! No more of these boys without Seconal." The clamps bite my wrists and ankles. The graphite salve has iron filings in it, temples scratching. He said something when he winked, told me something. Man bends over, brings 2 irons toward the ring on my head. The machine hunches on me. "Air raid!" Hit it a lope, running already down the slope. Can't get back, can't go ahead. Look down the barrel and you're dead, dead, dead. We come up out of the bull reeds, run beside the railroad track. I lay an ear to the track and it burns my cheek. "Nothing either way," I say. 100 miles. "Hump," Papa says. "Didn't we used to listen for buffalo by sticking a knife in the ground, catch the handle in our teeth, hear a herd way, way off?" "Hump," he says again, but he's tickled. Out across the other side of the track, a fence row of wheat chats from last winter. "Mice under that stuff," the dog says. "Do we go up the track or down the track, boy?" "We go across, is what the old dog says." "That dog don't heel." "He'll do. There's birds over there, is what the old dog says." "Better hunting up the track bank, is what your old man says." "Best right across in the wheat, the dog tells me." Across. Next thing I know, there's people all over the track, blasting away at pheasants like anything. Seems our dog got too far out ahead and run all the dogs out of the chats to the track. Dog got 3 mice. Man, broad and big with a wink like a star. Ants again. Oh, Jesus, I got them bad this time. Prickle-footed bastards. Remember the time we found those ants tasted like dill pickles? You said it wasn't dill pickles. I said it was. And your mama kicked the living tar out of me when she heard teaching a kid to eat bugs. Good Injun boy should know how to survive on anything he can eat that won't eat him first. We ain't Indians. We're civilized, and you remember it. You told me, Papa, when I die, pin me up against the sky. Mama's name was Bromden. Still is Bromden. Papa said he was born with only one name, born smack into it the way a calf drops out in a spread blanket when the cow insists on standing up. Tia Milituna, the pine that stands tallest on the mountain, and I'm the biggest, by God, Injun in the state of Oregon and probably California and Idaho, born right into it. You're the biggest, by God, fool if you think that a good Christian woman takes on a name like Tia Milituna. You were born into a name, so okay, I'm born into a name. Bromden. Mary Louise Bromden. And when we move into town, Papa says that name makes getting that Social Security card a lot easier. Guy's after somebody with the riveter's hammer. Get him too, if he keeps at it. I see those lightning flashes again, colors striking. Tingle, 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 tremble toes. She's a good fisherman, catches hens, put 'em in a pens. Wire, blire, limber lock, 3 geese in a flock. One flew east, one flew west, one flew over the cuckoo's nest. O-U-T spells out. Goose swoops down and plucks you out. My old grandma chanted this, a game we played by the hour, sitting by the fish rack, scaring flies. A game called Tingle, Tingle, Tangle Toes, counting each finger on my 2 outspread hands, 1 finger to a syllable as she chants. Tingle, tingle, tangle, toes, 7 fingers. She's a good fisherman, catches hens, 16 fingers, tapping a finger on each beat with her black crab hand, each of my fingernails, looking at her like a little face, asking to be the you that the goose swoops down and plucks out. I like the game and I like Grandma. I don't like Mrs. Tingle Tangle Toes catching hens. I don't like her. I do like that goose flying over the cuckoo's nest. I like him and I like Grandma, dust in her wrinkles. Next time I saw her, she was stone cold dead, right in the middle of the Dalles, on the sidewalk. Colored shirts standing around, some Indians, some cattlemen, some wheat men. They cart her down to the city burying ground, roll red clay into her eyes. I remember hot, still, electric storm afternoons when jackrabbits ran under diesel truck wheels. Joy Fish in a Barrel has $20,000 and 3 Cadillacs since the contract, and he can't drive none of them. I see a dice. I see it from the inside. Me at the bottom, I'm the weight, loading the dice to throw that number 1 up there above me. They got the dice loaded to throw a snake eyes, and I'm the load. 6 lumps around me like white pillows is the other side of the dice. The number 6 that will always be down when he throws. What's the other dice loaded for? I bet it's loaded to throw 1 too. Snake eyes. They're shooting with crookies against him, and I'm the load. Look out, here comes a toss. Hey, lady, the smokehouse empty, and baby needs a new pair of opera pumps coming at ya. Fall crapped out. Water. I'm lying in a puddle. Snake eyes caught him again. I see that number 1 up above me. He can't whip frozen dice behind the feed store in an alley in Portland. The alley is a tunnel. It's cold because the sun is late afternoon. Let me go see Grandma. Please, Mama. What was it he said when he winked? 1 flew east, 1 flew west. Don't stand in my way. Damn it, nurse, don't stand in my way. Way. My roll. Fall, damn, twisted again. Snake eyes. The school teacher tell me you got a good head, boy. Be something. Be what, Papa? A rug weaver like Uncle R&J Wolf, a basket weaver, or another drunken Indian? I say, attendant, you're an Indian, aren't you? Yeah, that's right. Well, I must say you speak the language quite well. Yeah. Well, $3 a regular. They wouldn't be so cocky if they knew what me and the moon have going. No damn regular Indian. He who, what was it, walks out of step, hears another drum. Snake eyes again. Whew, boy, these dice are cold. After Grandma's funeral, me and Papa and Uncle Running and Jumping Wolf dug her up. Mama wouldn't go with us. She never heard of such a thing. Hanging a corpse in a tree is enough to make a person sick. Uncle R.J. Wolf and Papa spent 20 days in the drunk tank at the Dallas jail playing rummy for a violation of the dead. But she's our goddamn mother. It doesn't make the slightest difference, boys. You should have left her buried. I don't know where you blamed Indians will learn. Now, where is she? You better tell me. Go fuck yourself, paleface, Uncle R.J. said, rolling himself a cigarette. I'll never tell. High, high, high in the hills, high in a pine tree bed. She's tracing the wind with that old hand, counting the clouds with that old chant. 3 geese in a flock. What did he say to me when he winked? Band playing. Look, the sky. It's the 4th of July. Dice at rest. They got to me with that machine again. I wonder. What did he say? I wonder how McMurphy made me big again. He said, guts, ball. They're out there. Black boys in white suits peeing under the door on me, come in later and accuse me of soaking all 6 of these pillows. Number 6, I thought the room was a dice. The number 1, the big guy up there, the circle, the white light in the ceiling is what I've been seeing in this little square room. Means it's after dark. How many hours have I been out? It's fogging a little, but I won't slip off and hide in it. No, never again. I stood up slowly, feeling numb between the shoulders. The white pillows on the floor of the seclusion room were soaked from me peeing on them while I was out. I couldn't remember all of it yet, but I rubbed my eyes with the heels of my hands and tried to clear my head. I worked at it. I had never worked at coming out of it before. I staggered toward the little round chicken-wired window in the door of the room and tapped it with my knuckles. I saw an aide coming up the hall with a tray for me and knew this time I had them